What's up, guys? It is Wednesday, January 8th. This week on the podcast, Sergei Nossoff, CEO of Teslasuit, joins me as a guest. Teslasuit is a full-body haptic suit and training solution for physical VR experiences. Teslasuit has full-body motion capture, climate control, biometric systems, everything. Sergei and I have a great discussion about Teslasuit, and I think you guys will enjoy it. So, as always, be sure to subscribe if you have not already and share this episode with somebody that you think would like to learn more about blockchain or Teslasuit or tech in general. It's CES this week. All right, enjoy.
This is the BlockHash Podcast.
All right, Serge, how you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you.
How was your flight into Vegas?
Long, but looking forward to the event. Obviously, it's one of the largest events for us, and we're excited to show our tech to the world.
Yeah, I'm excited to come by and see it. I think a lot of people will enjoy it as well.
Absolutely.
So tell me, for my audience that may or may not know who you are or much about Teslasuit, tell me a little bit about your background.
Yeah, sure. Teslasuit is it's been born over like 7 years ago, where our CTO and co-founder Serge was kind of playing a keynote idea of designing a super innovative gadgets mostly for gaming. He wanted to make sure the gamers get more immersed, and he was kind of predicting that virtual reality or augmented reality will be a big thing in the future. And then he wanted to kind of do the full set, the glasses and the suit that gets the tactile sensations from the game into the user, getting user more immersed. Mm-hmm. And so back then it seemed like a crazy idea, and then came a period of some designing and prototyping and developing. And so for that, he's been sort of searching for investors and even did a Kickstarter campaign. Didn't at that time, he didn't manage to get any financing, or the Kickstarter wasn't successful, but it certainly kind of put the idea out there, and that's kind of how it started. After that, the true story of Teslasuit began, and so the first Teslasuit versions were designed, about 2.5-3 years ago, like a real, MVP, viable MVP versions, and it became clear to the team that possibilities of the technology and the uses of the technologies are really endless, and so. Today, we're producing a commercially available copy of Teslasuit in its current form, and the target industries and what we position in the tech are slightly different to what the original design was made for. But obviously, we're not going to plan to stop there. We plan to extend it to different directions. But but for the audience who don't know what Teslasuit is Teslasuit is a human to digital interface, basically designed to simulate the experience and accelerate mastery in the physical world. So it is kind of an integrated complex of various technologies that complementary to each other. First technology is haptics. So haptics is effectively, ability to get tactile sensations to the whole body, from digital world into a real world. So the person, for example, wearing it could see something and feel it, at the same time. So the haptic is a kind of essential technology that we use in Teslasuit. The second one is motion capture, and this is technology that's been widely used for in Hollywood or military or professional sport. It's kind of had a narrow use in the past, but we wanted to bring the motion capture technology in as a part of a suit, because it works very complementary with the haptics. Because in virtual augmented reality space, if you touch another object or interact with another object, the system needs to know that you're interacting with that other object. So in order to produce a great quality haptics, we had to kind of do the motion capture alongside it, in order to make it really working. The third technology that we have in the suit is biometry, that effectively reads the biometric parameters from a person and provides improved human performance and analysis of a person's stress level, heart rate variability, and many other parameters. So the suit inputs the haptic feedback to any area of the body, and it's able to generate the feelings from gentle touch to feelings of physical exertion and temperature, and the outputs motion capture and biometrics. And so we're positioning the suit today for XR training. And for people who don't know what XR is, it's virtual, augmented, and mixed reality, called XR. And there's such innovative approach starting to get used by a lot of large corporations, as well as governments in police and firefighters and military and other trainings, where effectively they could provide a simulated training of any sorts and any kind, in a relatively closed, small room, with use of the glasses and Teslasuit and obviously the software together. And so that's becoming a kind of a market standard over the last couple of years. It's been the companies have been increasingly employing this technology, because the users or trainees who go through the training, they have almost 100% retention rate, because they're kind of part of a gamification mode. They have to complete tasks, and they don't lose their focus on what they're doing inside that system, versus the alternatives, reading manuals or doing webinars or something like, listening to lectures, where, users or trainees quickly kind of lose focus after 40 minutes. In some cases, they don't even read the manuals, they read some just kind of basic headlines, and hence cannot improve their performance. Also, cannot avoid accidents and even deaths in some of industrial applications. Where with the new technologies, obviously provides a deeper sensory immersion into the environment, enabling the users to safely experience the stressful and hazardous scenarios as they kind of lived through them.
Yeah, it seems like that you guys put a lot of time into getting this right. So there's a lot of aspects to this suit. So, like, at what point did you guys feel that you kind of got it right, like over the timeline that you've guys been working on this?
Well, it came with some time and with application and the users of our product, and also we also listened to our clients who to the market on what they wanted, and so we iterated. The suits, there's been over, I think it's safe to say, over 50 versions of the suits reiterated from over the last 3 years before the product kind of saw it's commercial level, and we just kind of understood what people wanted, what kind of product is needed, and our uniqueness in the product is the fact that all the technology within the technologies employed within the suit, as I mentioned earlier, they work as a standalone technology, but also in combination with each other. And so that kind of provides a really value-added product for our clients.
Gotcha. So it seems that you guys have quite a diversity of use cases for it. Do you guys have like a specific use case that you guys are zeroing in on, like in industry or in sports or?
The way we're now positioning the product is the fact we now have a kind of a multi-product strategy where we have the commercial direction that we're taking right now. We call it XR training product, and the part of that sort of product can be used for corporations. Mostly in industrial use. We're talking about oil and gas, metals and mining, chemicals, automotive, aerospace, etc. So those are kind of the industry where the users need to go through a rigorous training in order to improve their skills, but also prevent injuries and deaths at the workplace. So we do work with world leaders such as DTAC and Schlumberger and NASA and First Frontier, Vodafone, Mastercard, and other corporations. So we have a lot of interest from different parts of our technological cycle for our product, but the XR training for, as we call it, sort of corporations, but also government services, where obviously the full body haptics and motion capture and biometrics also can be used by police forces, by firefighters, by military. That's all kind of very complementary to the training that they do as well, and they employ our products in that direction as well. However, we also looking at other possibilities and new markets, like a professional sport market, where we can use the suit to practice the techniques and trainings in professional sport to improve the skills, but also see how the users can progress in terms of their skills, in terms of their durability, and just techniques. But also we also working on a platform for medical solutions for rehabilitation and telemedical cases, where we use the biometry as well as haptics, which is based on EMS, or EMS, electromuscular stimulation technology.
Mm-hmm.
They're used in medicine for the last 25 years, effectively, and the motion capture to, for example, rehabilitate people with movement disabilities after the stroke, for example. So we kind of working actively with medical facilities and universities to develop those use cases and prove the effectiveness of our technology in that direction as well.
Yeah, it seems like it really does touch like a lot of different markets that you haven't maybe even gotten into quite yet. But in terms of other markets, could you see it being used in conjunction with AR or VR in terms of how big those markets are getting right now?
Well, absolutely. I mean, absolutely. We at the moment we kind of cater for businesses, since the product lines and productional lines are relatively small, and we working a lot with companies to go through a lot of use cases and training techniques. But obviously the potential of the technology to use it. I don't know, as similar for Ready Player One, concept
Yeah.
where people can communicate with each other, because haptics is also tactile sensations are part of a communications between two people, not only visual but and audio, but also with feelings and touching and feeling their realities, virtual augmented realities. So we see a huge potential, obviously, in gaming and other applications for consumers. And I mean, gaming, sport, of course, and medical for consumers as well. Absolutely.
Yeah, it gets brought up to me like all the time because I do so much work in the blockchain space, and there are a lot of decentralized applications out there
Hmm.
where they're building these open worlds for
Hmm.
VR, like Decentraland and Crypto Voxels and stuff like that. And they're
Hmm.
always
Hmm.
looking for new ways to integrate yourself into that kind of environment. So they're always bringing up like Ready Player One, and then when they hear about like Teslasuit, they're always like, "Oh my gosh, it just looks just like the suit from Ready Player One." So I get that a lot.
Well, in fact, Warner Brothers, before they filmed Ready Player One, they contacted us, and during a sort of a production of Ready Player One, and then consulted us on some of technical details and possibilities of the suit. At that time, it was kind of early days for Teslasuit, but the concept was already there, and obviously the book highlighted the haptics aspects quite well, and so they had to reflect it in the movie. And they were looking around who would be I don't know, crazy enough to produce something like that. And you know we were on the short list for that one. So we spoken to them, and we showed them early prototypes, and they loved it as well. And so that was kind of partly incorporated into the movie. And in fact, if you look at the box um, for the suit in the movie, you kind of see, very renders very similar looking to our suit.
No, that's really cool. Actually, I didn't quite know that. Did they just take like a rendering of what you guys were working on, or did they work with like the actual suit at the time?
No, no, they looked at the suit, and they looked at the prototype of a suit that we had, and so they understood where we're going. We kind of told them our idea. We told them how it will work, and there was
Mhm.
they were absolutely blown away that this product described in the book was already kind of there in the real life. So the future was already there. Um, and so they were amazed that you can feel the range of sensations in the VR already at that time. And, that was going 3 years ago. So it wasn't as developed, obviously, as it is right now. But they absolutely loved it. Uh, Chris DeFaria, who was head of special effects at Warner Brothers at the time, he personally tried the suit, and quite impressed.
Yeah, it seems really cool. I remember seeing it at CES either last year or the year before, and I was really surprised that something like that could even exist. And it was really funny because it was like on the heels of the movie Ready Player One, so everyone was making that correlation.
No, it's easy for us to explain what the suit does, to people. They were like, "What is that? And how does that work?" We're like, "Have you seen Ready Player One?" They were like, "Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like a suit in there." And and people understood immediately the concept. The concept understood, quite easy to understand the concept for people because they've seen the movie or read the book.
Oh yeah, I can imagine if people are asking, you could just be like, "Hey, have you seen that movie? Go watch the movie. It's in the movie." Or that's a good
Yes,
example.
exactly, exactly, absolutely right.
So, I mean, I've heard of the haptics and the biometrics, but in terms of like the motion capture, is that a camera or a sensor? Like, how does that feature work exactly?
It's our internal built IMU sensors. So we have a number of, as we call it, nodes around the suit, and so they would track, the arms and legs and the rest of the body, and we did it sort of a traditional way as motion capture suits would do. And just did a lot of vectoring mathematics and data scientists that were working on making that possible. But we obviously, not stopping there. We're experimenting and we're adding a lot of cool tech. Some of it I can't talk about at the moment, but we obviously will be improving it massively and continuously to improve that. So we could bring the motion capture technology at the end of the day to a consumer level, which is kind of unheard of before, because it's only been used for a really kind of professional use from game creators or Hollywood movie creators to replace or improve kind of CGI effects, etc. And we kind of wanted to bring the technology to the wider audience, businesses, and then ultimately consumers, and that will be a great game changer, for people who play this immersive worlds and new generation gaming, which is kind of works with the new headsets, and we excited about it.
Oh yeah, there's a lot to be excited about for sure. Does the suit like pair with any other accessories like headset or gloves or shoes, or is it just limited to the suit right now?
The suit is paired with any VR headset or AR headset. It uses, it can be paired by Bluetooth or Wi-Fi. So it's not dependent on one particular headset. It can work with all of them. And we have our new products that we're introducing in 2020, VR powered gloves. The suit would work for with those as well.
No, how would the gloves work? That sounds interesting.
So this is something we also be softly launching at CES. So the gloves that we've designed and we'll be launching in 2020 is effectively an extension of Teslasuit technology right now. So it's a world's first VR gloves that's got integrated haptics, motion capture, biometry, and force feedback in one product. So we use the same so the haptics are equipped with a 3x3 display for each finger, which enables VR user with sort of natural surfaces. You can feel the surfaces, but also it contributes to tactile sense, helping users to feel textures more naturally. So the motion capture technology obviously integrated in the glove, and can detect the movements of the wearer's hands and use those to control the accuracy of the movements. It's perfect feature to use as a fine motor skills, and obviously can be used in the same industries, in the same spaces that I've mentioned before, as well as in training, but also in sports and medical. And finally, the exoskeleton element, the force feedback, together with motion capture system and haptic systems, and biometry, is allows the people to use or feel the volume of objects they're touching. Yeah, so they could instead of kind of putting your fingers through the object in virtual reality, they could lift the object and feel the object at the same time, which actually kind of enables users to get more immersive into once the users are already inside the content. So we're very, very excited about that product, and this is something that's been requested by a lot of our clients, and expected by a lot of the kind of, I would say, public generally, as a way of replacing the controllers that some of the virtual reality headsets have at the moment, because you kind of environment should replicate the real environment, and so the hands should be used as hands, and that's kind of what we want to deliver to the market.
Oh yeah, I hate the controllers. I mean, they work pretty well, but I mean, being able to have some kind of like glove that just fits on your hand that allows you to actually interact more normally than pulling a trigger. The idea of being able to feel texture, that's pretty crazy.
Exactly. But also, there's also integrated biometrical system inside the gloves as well that kind of gathers real-time data, allowing to track emotional state of a person, stress levels, heart rate, and that could be fed back into the system and used for a variety of analysis and also a feedback as well. So a rate of integrated features overall make our product is extremely versatile and used for a wide range of industries and applications.
Do they simulate temperature at all?
We in the suit we do have a temperature modular as well. In the gloves we don't, but we have a special, I would say, version of a suit required for narrow industries that they want to simulate. They want to simulate the heat and cold, and we can do that in the suit form, but not for the gloves at the moment.
Because that would be interesting for like a firefighter, or if you're working for NASA and you wanted to simulate different temperature environments. Like I could see a lot of uses for that.
Yeah, in the suit, for example, you can. On the hands and sort of with the gloves at the moment, we already kind of kind of stuffed a lot of the tech inside. So we obviously will be, working and improving those, but potentially if we see a large demand from our clients, and we obviously will be thinking how to incorporate that feature inside the product. But at the moment, it's only kind of limited to the features I've described.
Have you guys had any like military interests in terms of using it for like training and like combat scenarios?
I think the short answer to that is yes. Obviously, I cannot go into
No, it's
any
okay.
specifics due to the nature of
Understand.
sensitivity, but obviously, it's kind of very complementary to the training in XR. So, whatever it is, a military or sport or other type of training, that they all take benefit out of the range of technologies inside the suit. And so, full body haptics works very well for, a military sector, since they can simulate, a sense of, if, let's say, a bullet hits a person in the virtual reality simulation, the person can feel that interaction, let's say bullet interaction, but also see feel a direction it's coming from, and so on and so forth. So obviously, it's kind of it certainly works. It works well for that industry.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of possibilities for that.
Absolutely. But also, they could also, as you can imagine, their biometry function is also kind of measuring the stress levels and the heart rate variability and so on and so forth. That could be also analyzed and see, for example, on trainings, if we're talking about, let's say police training, what the policeman would do in a difficult situation, when it has to take the decision to either shoot or or say something, and that's kind of a lot of the testing and so on can be tested in such a training simulation like VR or AR, or mostly VR probably, and so kind of see how different people coping with this different stress levels and problems.
Actually, I haven't tried it on yet, but is it like the suit, is it bulky or is it slim? Does it fit like a jacket? Like, what's it like to actually wear it?
It's actually, we designed it so it would be easy to wear, pleasurable, and would have a great design. So a person would feel like a superhero. It's kind of a essential element of the experience. And it's easy to use. It's cleanable, and it kind of delivers the tech that we promise. So you should definitely try it and see it for yourself.
Yeah, I'd love to try it. Where are you guys at CES? Because I know it's pretty big. It's hard to find people. But
Uh,
do you guys know what hall you guys are in?
yes, we are in South Hall, floor one, in booth 21831. So please come and check us out.
Oh, I will definitely be coming to check it out. So is it available to actually purchase, or is it available to only corporations right now? Or what's the jig on that?
I think for consumers, it's not available to purchase because they need to use it with some specific application.
Right.
And so, in terms of, for example, a professional sport platform that we're developing, eventually we'll be able to offer it to consumers. Where, let's say you would put a suit on and you can switch the golf module or tennis module, and you can practice the techniques. And if you don't do those techniques in the right way, the suit will haptically can correct you, and you can see the visual and sensory emotion, so at the same time. And then, effectively a learning curve would be, amazing, very steep. For consumers, we kind of see it either in the sport and fitness area or in a gaming area. And so we're kind of not there yet in order to offer a really mind-blowing solutions for consumers yet.
Mhm.
So we're mostly kind of focused on the businesses and XR training for the businesses. But eventually we will offer it to consumer level.
Okay, cool. So what does the roadmap look like for Teslasuit now that we're in 2020 for this year?
Yeah, so the key focus for this year is developing the products for different applications I mentioned. So the XR training route, various different products for different types of XR trainings, but also the medical and sports direction. That's areas that we will be developing this year, but not offering a full solution, since we have to do and test this clinical trials and going through some of applications that will fit very relevant. Obviously, our technologies that we use in Teslasuit are very applicable in medicine generally, since EMS and TENS are used in medicine, but also motion capture. It can be used to track the movements of a person, and at the same time, biometry is obviously also used in medicine to get diagnostics for some of the systems, for some of the diseases, etc. But also the gloves is also another sort of product that will fit in all those areas I just mentioned, as well as a suit. So that's kind of our plan for 2020. And we also we have a big research department that also looks at the future tech that will go beyond 2020, and so they're kind of thinking 3-5 years ahead right now as well. But obviously, I can't really tell you much about
That's
it.
cool.
I'm not allowed.
So in terms of if people want to follow Teslasuit, are you guys on social media? Do you guys have a blog on your guys'
Yes, we are.
website? Where should people go?
Yes, we all on the social medias. We are on the Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube, on Twitter. Most of the channels we're on, and please feel free to visit our website, which is teslasuit.io, and add their names to the list. And if people are interested in tracking what we do and how we're developing, we're keeping people informed, but also we follow us on all the social media channels where we regularly post, the stuff that we do and the use cases that we do and the clients that we work with. And so, we will be delighted to get more followers and more people who can tell about our technology and our product.
Awesome. Yeah, I'll put some links in the description as well so people can kind of find where you
I
guys are on the
appreciate it.
interweb. Serge, thanks for coming on the podcast and taking the time. I know you just kind of got into Vegas.
Pleasure. Yeah, just arrived literally like an hour ago. So I appreciate your time as well, and looking forward to seeing you very soon.
Yeah, I'll definitely be looking for you guys at CES, and hopefully we can link up.
Absolutely.
Awesome. All right. I'll see you soon.
See you soon. Thank you.